Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Jennifer's Tale, My Life as a Crossdresser. I, of course, am Jennifer, and if you are new to my podcast, chances are you're a crossdresser as well. Maybe you're a trans girl, maybe you're a significant other, maybe you're a wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, just a close friend of somebody who enjoys dressing up as a woman or is thinking about becoming a woman full time. I hope you enjoy this podcast. Welcome. My name is Jennifer. I have been cross-dressing for a long time now. Over the past 5 years especially, I've really come to embrace who I am as Jennifer and my feminine side. And I've created this podcast to let other girls out there, cross-dressers especially like me, know that you're not alone. There's plenty of other girls out there who feel exactly the way that you do. You know, we're all one big happy community under the trans umbrella, at least in my opinion. And this podcast is here to share my thoughts, experiences, hopes, dreams, desires, tips, tricks, all sorts of stuff regarding cross-dressing and being a guy who enjoys dressing up as a woman. If you are new to this podcast on YouTube, please do me a favor right below my boobs here. Please click on the subscribe to my channel. New episodes come out every Friday, just like clockwork. And like I said, I talk about everything under the sun. My life is an open book. I love hearing from other cross-dressers out there with any questions you may have. And welcome. Hi. If you are listening to this as an audio podcast, whether it be on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, which is where the show is hosted, all those rules apply to you as well. You know, if you're listening, if you found this podcast, if you did a search for crossdresser and this podcast came up, chances are you're a crossdresser as well. Welcome, sister. I hope you enjoy this podcast. I hope it enlightens you. I hope it makes you feel better about yourself. I hope it makes you feel that you are not alone out there. I hope it's beneficial. And with enough of this rambling, let's get into this podcast. Every once in a while, I put out a call asking girls to send me topics or questions or things they would like me to talk about or cover on this podcast. And one of my faithful listeners brought up the topic of, which is what this episode is, finding your own lane. Now, cross-dressing runs quite a big gambit. It covers all sorts of different aspects of guys who enjoy dressing up as women. And you kind of, I kind of figure the range is everything from you have a guy who just gets sexually turned on by maybe just one particular article of women's clothes and enjoys putting that on and getting turned on by it until they're sexually gratified, and then they're all well and good and they go back to being who they are. And then you have cross-dressers on the other end of the spectrum who are like me. You know, I'm a longtime cross-dresser. For me, I enjoy doing a complete persona and becoming the woman that I want to be, the woman I enjoy being, the woman that I get to go out in public and be. And this is what I enjoy. I enjoy being Jennifer, head to tail, from wigs to heels, and everything in between. And then in between those two, you have all sorts of different areas. You know, you have some guys who enjoy wearing trying on their wife's clothes, or maybe they enjoy some role play in the bedroom with their wife or significant other, and maybe put on lingerie while their wife wears lingerie as well. Maybe that's their sexual turn on. Maybe, if you ask most cross-dressers, they usually have a favorite article of clothing. Like for me, it's pantyhose. Maybe there's some guys out there who just enjoy slipping on pantyhose and wearing them either under their male clothes or just, when they're alone. Who knows? Maybe there's some cross-dressers out there who like dressing up fully like I do, but they're scared to leave the house. Maybe they just enjoy being able to dress up as their femme selves and be in their house all day. Maybe there's a fantasy aspect involved there. Maybe they enjoy dressing up as their femme selves, but maybe they only enjoy wearing a French maid outfit. Maybe they enjoy wearing a Playboy bunny outfit. Maybe that's or a Hooter girl outfit. There's all sorts of different aspects of cross-dressing, and I'm here to tell you that all those are okay. There's nothing wrong with any of those, and it's important to find your own lane, which is, like I said, the title of this episode. The girl who wrote in wanted me to talk about that. The important part when it comes to cross-dressing, and something that a lot of us girls don't do, is enjoy yourself. Ever since you're probably for you as well, it was for me. When I was little and I started getting these feelings for dressing up in women's clothes or trying on my mom's pantyhose, trying on a bra for the first time, that kind of thing. You did it because you were curious, and when you did it, it was something that was enjoyable for you. And maybe as you got older, it was sexually gratifying for you. But once that happened, even maybe in this day and age, once that happens, you feel ashamed, you feel like this isn't the guy you're supposed to be, and that's when the guilt and the shame comes in, and you put the clothes away, or you vow never to do it again, or you purge all your wardrobe from time to time just because you are ashamed of who you are, or you don't want to do this anymore. I can tell you from personal experience over quite a few years of dressing, those feelings are never really going to go away entirely unless you come to terms with who you are, come to terms with the person that you are entirely, and love and accept you for who you are. Be happy with who you are, enjoy what you're doing, and don't let your mind or someone else or society tell you any different. My rule that I've always lived by is do whatever makes you happy as long as you're not causing harm to anybody else. And I know there's probably some girls out there who are thinking to themselves, well, I do dress as my femme self and I'm not really causing any harm, but my wife is unhappy that I do it, or, I don't want my kids to find out, or that kind of thing. That happens in my life as well. My wife understands my cross-dressing. She accepts it. But there are times when, like I've said, she doesn't want to partake in it. She doesn't want to see me dressed like this. She has tried. It hasn't worked for her. She feels like my cross-dressing is a threat. And maybe you think, well, Jennifer, you're causing harm. You're causing your wife grief or emotional distress. Yes, I know that, and it kind of goes against the do no harm, but it also is something that I try to justify to myself as if I don't do this for myself and keep myself happy, then I'm not going to be happy. And it may sound selfish, it may sound wrong, but sometimes you need to take care of yourself before you try to take care of others. And at least for me, keeping myself happy and keeping my mind focused on the positive and what keeps me going helps keep my family unit going, not only does it keep me going, but it keeps my kids happy. My happiness, my light that I feel inside spreads out to others. It helps at work, it helps with friends, it helps with family. So I guess that's kind of where I look at it there. You need to do what makes you happy. And at the end of the day, you don't want to realize at the end of your life that you sacrificed your happiness trying to make other people happy. And I know that I could quit dressing up, which would make my wife happy. But I also know my wife is somebody who is a hopeless pessimist. And if I quit doing this, then I would be miserable. And then she would be miserable because she thinks I'm miserable. And then she'd be like, well, I'm making my husband miserable because I won't let him dress as a woman. And it makes me feel better, but at the same time makes me feel worse. And it's kind of a vicious circle. Some people are like that. But finding your own lane, whether you are a cross-dresser who enjoys putting on a pair of panties under your jeans when you work every day, if that is what makes you happy, good for you. Bravo. If you are a guy who likes coming home at night and relieving your stress by having a cold beer, slipping on a pair of pantyhose and a skirt and some high heels and just kicking back and relaxing, bravo. Keep doing what you're doing. Make yourself happy. If you are a cross-dresser who enjoys dressing up as a woman to, from head to toe, hair, wig to heels, but you enjoy just being able to hang around at home and be who you are, bravo, good for you. You're doing what makes you happy. As much as I try to encourage cross-dressers to leave their front door and go out into the world and experience life, if you don't feel that's for you, don't cave into my pressure. I will be your cheerleader if you decide to do that. But if you don't, as long as you're happy, that's the important thing. For me personally, getting all dressed up as Jennifer, looking like I do, showing, flaunting what I have, that's what makes me happy inside. Every time I dress up and finish my dressing by putting on my wig and brushing my hair and getting it to look just right, that's what makes me happy right before I walk out the door. And I'm not going to stop. Don't let anybody hold you back from your own happiness. Find your lane, enjoy your lane, and keep driving. I hope that makes sense. I hope I didn't ramble too long. I would love to hear your feedback on this as far as finding your own lane and doing what makes you happy. Plenty of ways you can do that. Easiest way, if you're watching this on YouTube, leave a comment on this episode. I always respond to those comments. Love hearing from other girls out there, other significant others. Easy peasy, you can do it that way. If you're listening to this as an audio podcast, you can leave me a comment on there, especially if you listen on Spotify. There's a place for you to leave comments right with this episode. I always respond to those as well. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any other topic ideas. You can find me on the internet, on social media. Go to Facebook. You can find a Facebook page for my podcast at Jennifer's Tale, My Life as a Crossdresser. And you can also find me personally on Facebook at Jennifer Hangartner, Hangartner. That was my mother's maiden name, so I kind of adopted it as my own. And you can find me on Facebook. Feel free to friend me. I usually friend pretty much anybody or respond and accept any friend requests that I get. Very few exceptions. And last but not least, if you want to comment about this episode or talk to me just in general or do whatever, talk to me about ideas you have, send me an email. Email address is Jennifer's Tale Podcast, that's all one word, at gmail.com. So until next time, I hope you enjoyed this episode. And this is Jennifer saying hugs and kisses. Bye-bye.